Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is 2023. We had a nice break and we are starting new with a new year. And I hope you all having a good start of the year. This year, for me, it's going to be the year of expansion. So I don't know what, this year is going to be for you. You can just let us know. Let us know first where you're watching from. And also don't hesitate to ask questions if you're watching live, and really, choice for you. And I always bring you champions to be able to, to inspire you and to push you to get to be the best, the best version of yourself. So you probably remember me. My name is Mireille Tulekima. You know me as the Greatness Engineer. And as usual, I come up with greatness for you. Today we're going to India, and we are having a star thing. We're having a king. So you're gonna understand why I'm saying that. Just to give you, a little bit of introduction about my guest today. You probably, saw all the posts that I have done on my feature on LMA, and you probably seen, my guest in that edition as well. Just to give you something visual, so my guest today is Sandip Soparrkar. I hope I'm not butchering his name. He will have the opportunity to come and let me know. And he is, like I said, a star, a king. He was recently crowned King of Art for Peace in Beverly Hills. He's going to tell us all about it. But most important, the most important thing that he's doing is ballroom dancer, is a Bollywood choreographer, an actor, columnist, dance reality show judge, radio jockey, and also a TED, speaker. And the thing that we're going to talk about, that we're going to focus our conversation on today, is his philanthropic work. And he started an initiative, a worldwide initiative called Dance for a Cause, where, he used dance, drama, and music as a medium to raise awareness for all the social issues that we can, we can think about. So that's, in a nutshell, a summary of who Sandip is. But I'm going to let him to come in and introduce himself properly, tell us, what's important. And if you want to get more information, I think it's in Wikipedia. So you can go there and get, all the information that you want. But for now, let me bring him in, and let's start, this amazing conversation. Let's start this discovery of Sandip, and also get to know him and get to know the work, the amazing work that he's doing. So don't go anywhere. We are starting. Another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show, the show that is brought to you by the Bharat Gaurav Global Leadership Organization.
Real is important is if you just look at the word compassion, when it's behavior, it's something that can be learned, and it is something that we can embody through habits and through our daily actions.
To get this idea that if we interject this wisdom intentionally, I call them needle movers. It's the needle mover that's missing.
Don't deprive the world of your greatness. Please. Don't do that anymore. Dare to excel, dare to be sexy, dare to be you, dare to be the best version of yourself. impact yourself positively, and from there impact others. And you are not alone.
Namaste.
Okay, welcome, Sajiv, to the Greatness Engineering Hour show. It is a pleasure to have you. And like I was, mentioning, there's so much that we can learn from you, and so much that you're doing. And I really want, the audience to get a feel of all of this. But before we get into, our conversation, please, introduce yourself. I gave them a little bit of, introduction, but I think there's much more than that. So the floor is yours, Sandip.
First of all, Murray, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's absolutely amazing to be talking with you. And to all your audiences and you, a very, very happy new year. May this year begin with a great note. I hope it's begun with a great note, and may it be absolutely brilliant for all of you. Let whatever problems COVID caused us in our lives just go away this year, and let everything be absolutely positive. So thank you so much for having me. Well, like you said, to introduce myself, I'm very simple. I'm a dancer, and I use my dance as a way to entertain and as a way to educate, because I think that's what should be the main aim of any dancer or any artist supposed to be. And that's what I do. It's a very simple life.
Yes, and that's that's the thing that we really want to know is how did you start into all of this? Because I was reading a little bit about you, and you didn't start with dance. So what was the journey, and how did you end up using dance to actually now use it as a tool to to empower people, and to talk about the different causes and issues that we have in the world?
To be honest, I was always dancing as a child. We all dance. We all are born dancers, I believe. When we are born, our eyes dance all the time. Normally, our blood is dancing in our body. Our heart has a beat, like we have the music beats. So we are always dancing. It's just that we don't realize that we are all dancers. And when I was young, as a small boy, I used to dance. I was in college, I would dance. I was learning to dance. But yes, I was also working. I did my hotel management, my MBA, I did my PhD. I was doing all my education, like most of us are supposed to do. And dancing was a part of my life, like a hobby. But it was later on when I thought that I should use dance, and I was somewhere not able to balance my two lives. You know how it is with a young man who doesn't know what to do. We all go through that process, and I was in the same boat, and I did not know what to do, whether to go towards dance or to follow my education, passion, and studies were kind of having a little tiff with each other. And finally, my those days, my boss who I was working under, her name was Sheetal Pinto. Now she lives in Australia. Sorry, now she lives in Canada. She told me that, go Sandeep, take a plunge, try what you want to do, dance if you want to dance, and if you feel you're not successful in what you wish to do, you can come back. This job is always there for you. So that kind of made me give a security that in the field of dance, which is so field of art, which is so unpredictable. You don't know, how long it lasts, how where it's going to go, whether you're going to do what you want to do, whether you can achieve what you want to achieve. Like there's no surety about things. At least in the corporate world, at the end of the month you will get your salary. You will be, so you have a secure job. You can have a family. Here we are not too sure what's going to be in the field of art. So she gave me security that I could come back to her job. And I think that's when I thought I would take ahead and go ahead with my dancing. And I'm glad I did, because I took that step. Like they said, that the a hope, a faith, of a hope and leap that I took. And I came to a city like Mumbai, which is like the New York of the world. And there was completely new people. Everything was so new for me. And I was dancing like all of us, so many of them here. And then I remembered one line of my great grandfather, who was the doctor to Mahatma Gandhi. He had said a very interesting thing to all of us while when we were small. He had said, if you're going to be doing anything out from outside, you have two types of stuff. And when a war happens, you have two things. One is a war which takes place because of weapons, and the other war happens through a pen, through an art. There are two types of art which you get to see, two types of weapons that you get to see. One weapon is a weapon, like you have guns and swords and things like that. And the other weapon that you have is an art. And if the art is used as a right weapon, it can ignite fire, it can ignite wars, it can ignite people's minds and their hearts and the soul. It can stir your life very beautifully if you use that weapon in the right manner. And those lines of his were always in my mind. Maybe as a young boy, I was not too sure what it really meant. But when I got into the field of dancing, I realized what those lines meant. I realized the importance of those lines, which I didn't realize when I was a young boy. And then I thought to myself that this is the time that for me to use my weapon. A weapon not to destroy, but a weapon to create. An instrument which will ignite fire within people's minds. And that is when in 2008 I began Dance for a Cause. And that's how it all started.
That's just so inspiring, and I like when you say, there are two type of weapons. So there's the weapon that really, the one that are harming people, but there's also the heart, which is, the one that really go inside and ignite whatever we have, and which is for the good, for love, for all the positive, bring the positive things. But as you can see, we live in a world where technology is not taking over. It's all about, artificial intelligence, all of this. And so how do you see, what you do actually having the same impact? Or do you think that it's going to be, it's going to be very difficult to bring this type of, heart into along with, the technology?
I personally believe that it's a very good thing that we have today, because it has brought the world completely closer. Today, when I have a show of mine, or earlier when I would have a show of mine, I would have a couple of thousands of people come to watch it. But now it is not only people coming live to watch it, but it's even people coming live online to watch it. So it's going to be and I'm reaching out to so many more people. Like today we are talking, it's all because of technology. And if it wasn't a part of it, of our life, maybe if it was the 90s or the 80s, we would have not been able to talk with each other. So I think it's brought the world closer. It's definitely brought the awareness much more, because I can reach out to more people. Today, if I'm having a performance, it can be telecasted live, it can be featured live, it can be reposted on the internet in so many different ways, so many different platforms. And it has created a lot more awareness than what it could have done a lot before. So my Dance for a Cause, any event, be it be my King of Art for Peace, which I won a couple of months back, or any of my shows of Dance for a Cause, they all can be reached out in different platforms. Therefore, I can go out to more people. And the main purpose of having art Dance for a Cause is so it can reach to as many people as possible.
And another question that I have is, obviously, with the diversity of the world, how do you, because it's like a language, you have the dance, and then how do you translate that, because obviously it all started in India and in a certain area in India. So how do you translate, this, how do you transform this dance to actually fit, the different cultural, community that you actually visit, or then where you have your performance?
Mary, to be honest, I believe dance has no language. So
Okay.
it actually has no language. Whether I do an Indian dance, I do a Western dance, I do contemporary, I do ballroom, I do hip hop, I do anything, Bollywood, any dance form which we do, no dance form has any kind of language, because dance itself is a language which is universal. And to add to that, there is the causes that we pick up are there in all the countries. So be it domestic violence, be it adoptions, be it abortions, be it HIV/AIDS, be it drug abuse, be it so many of them. I mean, animal rights, human rights, old age. There's so much is that we have done different issues and causes. They are there in all the countries. It's not just part of India or any part of third world or second world countries. Even the advanced countries like America has domestic violence. It also has drug abuse. It has acid attack. All these different causes that we prepare dance dramas on, it is part of every race, of every community, of every religion, of everyone. So what I'm doing is not pertaining to a particular zone or particular area or a particular nation. It's particular to the whole world. So when United Nations came forward to support Dance for a Cause, I was so thrilled, because support from UN, I think, was the biggest, pat on the back for us, because it was something I didn't expect it to happen. And I happened to meet somebody from the UN, and they had heard about Dance for a Cause. And we had won the Rabindranath Tagore Award, which is one of the prestigious awards for philanthropist work. And when UN supported us, they said, we will help you. We'll reach out to different parts of the country with you. We'll fund your projects. I think it was the biggest advantage for us, because it proved that UN does things which are for the world. It is not for one particular nation. And I'm so glad that even till today we have supported the United Nations with us.
It is big. I mean, at least you know that it's something that will travel, through different countries. Because I mean, when the UN supports something, like you said, it means that it's really big. So how do you, because obviously there's only you, dancing. So do you actually have also people that you prepare, that you lead, so that they can also get, to learn the skills? Because obviously you said it's a universal language, but you still need to learn it the proper way, so that, you bring the right message when you go and dance, in the different country or region of the world.
I must tell you how we began, and then I'll talk about how we are doing it today. Initially in 2008, when we started Dance for a Cause, it was just two of us, my ex-wife and me together. And you will not believe, Mireille, it was the biggest dance platform for any dancer to get. For the first Dance for a Cause show, we performed it at the World Economic Forum in Davos in Switzerland. And I had Bill Clinton sitting in front of me. I had Honorable Prime Minister of France, Nicolas Sarkozy, sitting in front of me. We had our Indian presidents and prime ministers sitting in front of us. It was the biggest platform for any dancer to have such big political people sitting and watching the cause. And the cause was Save the Tiger. And tiger, which is as India, our national animal. And we were talking about Save the Tiger from all over the world, because there's just a couple of hundreds of them left in the world at that time. And how it was a major cause for not just Indians, but people from all over the world to save our national animal, tiger. And after the show got over, when we had praises coming from all these different nations and all these different ministers, I thought we were on the right path. And we had made the right, impact as to what we wanted to do. Followed from different years, I realized that it was easier and better for me to collaborate with different dance schools all over the world and, reach to different places and not just keep it India-centric. Though the launch was in Davos in Switzerland at the World Economic Forum, its initial few years were only in India after that. And to reach to more people, the only option was to reach out to the country. And that is when I started collaborating with different dance schools and different event organizers in different parts of the world. And then after that, what we did was we would prepare the entire dance drama, and technology really helped me. Like you were asking me as to how we do technology, we would record all the choreographies and the show, and send the choreography. Of course, now we have WhatsApp. That time there were no WhatsApp, and there were no video calls. But that time we could make the videos, and we could email the videos to different dance schools, prepare the choreographies, and take local dancers. So if I'm in your country, I will your city, I will ask the school there, the renowned school there, to give me the dancers from there. Give me the actors from there. And it's only me and my assistant who would go from India to that country. So two of us traveling, or sometimes even me alone traveling. And we have the entire team from that particular city or from that particular country. And we do collaborative work, because of which I think the closeness is a lot more. Because if you're from an African country, or you're from, say, from Egypt or from Bhutan or any other places, you will connect more with your own people. And that is how I think the popularity of the dance for a cause increased even more, and especially in America, because I had different partners in America associating with me, and it really took off. And that's how United Nations also came into picture. And I am so glad I took that step. Initially, I was not too sure whether I should collaborate, not collaborate. Everybody works differently, right? And I was not too sure how they would work. But I'm so thrilled I took that step, because it made me bring closer to so many different dance schools all over the world, and with so many different people. And that one cause, which was probably just in a certain place, reached to the whole world after that.
And that's the power. That's the power of collaboration, and we see it now. It's even more important now with everything that is going, and and the world that is going so fast. It is collaboration has come to to become one of the main currency now to use to be able to to have an impact in the world. So we're gonna have a short break, and we will be back to talk to Sandip and have continue this inspiring conversation. I hope you like it. And if you're watching live, or if you're watching later on, don't hesitate to ask questions, or give us your insight on what we are talking about. But don't go anywhere. We will be back in a few minutes. We are back with Sandeep, and we are talking about his worldwide projects for a cause. And for those just joining us, you'll really, gonna really like, the second part of the conversation. And I encourage you to, when we finish, to go back and watch the first part. But just, let's continue with Sanjeev and have, more, information about him, and because he's doing some incredible things. And so, Jeff, just wanted to ask you, obviously there's the Dance for a Cause, but you've created a full, platform with, festivals and all kind of activities that you started. So how is it going? Because I think that, and what is the impact that you're looking to have through those initiatives?
Well, my festivals began only as I would say, as a fruit to the Dance for a Cause. Dance for a Cause began in 2008, and my festivals began in 2014. And it was when my country, India, they gave us a National Achievement Award. And with the award, I got my prize money. And I was to do something with that to create more awareness about dancing. And I thought it's just great to start a festival of dance. So in India and outside India also, I believe, I've been going for so many of these different events, that we've had festivals for a particular dance form. So you have a contemporary dance festival, you have a salsa dance festival. We in India have a classical dance festival, we have a folk dance festival, the different types of dance festivals. But as a dancer, when I do Dance for a Cause, I not only use one particular dance form, I use various dance forms as part of creating a dance drama. So why not have a festival which is about all dance forms? Why to segregate dancers as based on the dance form? Because we might practice different dance forms, but as a dancer, we have the same heart, we have the same soul, we have the same dedication, we have the same power, we have the same fire, and we have the same passion. Our paths might be different, but our aims and our goals are the same. So why to have a festival which is to a particular form? Why not have a festival which is for all dancers and all dance forms? And that is how I came up with India Dance Week, which is, I'm so happy to say, one of the biggest festivals of dance in our country. And we have dancers from all over, not only from India, but even from outside India who come to be a part of the festival. I've had my friends from Japan come and perform. I've had my friends from Sri Lanka come and perform. My friends from the US come and perform. There are so many of them who have come and who have danced at my festival, promoting different styles of dancing. And at that festival is when every year I launch my first Dance for a Cause show, which then travels all over the world to different parts of the country or different parts of the other nations. And that's the first premiere I do of my show at my festival. And that is how the festival started. And today we have lots of companies associating with us, lots of dancers associating with us. And thanks to my Bollywood friends who come as well to, encourage and support all the participants and all the dancers. And, when Bollywood comes, there's a lot of excitement. There's lots of film stars walking in and out. There's lots more music, lots more dancing, and lots more happiness, and therefore lots more publicity, to be honest. And that's how the festival began. Until today, we have been doing it. Though during COVID time, we hadn't done it. But now this year, again, we will be showcasing our festival one more time.
And that's what I wanted to ask, is that during COVID, it must have been very difficult, because this is something that you really want to do in person, because that's where, the energy comes in, and you really connect with the different people, the different culture, and, bring this diversity to life. And that's so how was it, to have this break of, 2 or 3 years, I don't know anymore, and then come back, and really, did you find it hard, or how was, what was the experience? Because it must have been really challenging.
To be honest, for me, it was fantastic. It was really fantastic. I had my family with me staying. They don't live with me, but they were here for a couple of days when they got stuck here, as per my father. And he said, you got stuck in your house for so many months because of COVID, because of lockdown. And for the first 1 week, I was just thinking to myself, what am I going to do? There is just no dancing happening, and there is, I'm sitting in the house 24 hours, and my kids were home, my parents were home, and we all were just, sitting on each other's head, and things were, boring after a certain point of time, apart from just spending time with family, which was a very nice break as well. But what happens to my dancing? And my feet were itching to dance. So one of my students told me, "Sir, why don't you start teaching us online?" And I was not too sure how an online class would work and how an online teaching would work. So I said, "Okay, let me give it a try. Let me give it a shot." So we started off with Facebook teaching, through Instagram live teaching, and through just joining in different streams like Zoom and a StreamYard and different types of platforms to start teaching and talking. Then one of my friends who heads one of the orphanages, she said, "Sandip, our kids are getting completely bored sitting in the orphanage because their schools are shut, and plus they are, orphans, and they don't know where to go for anything. Do you think you can take a dance class for them on Zoom?" So I said, "Okay, let's just do it because, anyway, we all are home and there's no harm in doing something like this." And I was not going there to teach, which we used to do before. So we haven't gone to the orphanage as well. So let's do an online class. And we began the first Zoom class with one of the orphanages. You will not believe, Mireille, within 10 days, I had various NGOs approaching me for dance class. And within
Wow.
6 weeks, I had 120 NGOs dancing with me. And I was dancing 8 hours a day online. And my mother is telling me, "You said you're going to be free. And here you are. From morning, you start your first class at 7 o'clock. And you are," because I was doing different time zones. I was doing American time zone. I was doing the UK time zone. I was doing a Philippines time zone. And you are in different time zones. And I'm taking online dance classes. And I did not realize that how that one yes to one orphanage made me take class for various people and for various NGOs and there was one NGO especially for people above 70 years of age.
Oh.
And that was the best class because I had 100% attendance all the time. And they all would just dance with me. And then one day I get a call from my state minister here saying that we want to give you a COVID warrior award. So I was like, "What's a COVID warrior award? I have done
Yeah.
nothing for COVID." Yeah. So he said, "You don't know what you have done. You have brought in smiles and laughter into people's lives when they were all crying." And for different NGOs, there were because hospitals are filled with COVID patients, people with heart diseases, people with cancer, people with leprosy, people with HIV. They had so many different issues. They could not go to the hospital because hospitals were not taking them in. And they were all suffering. And the only point of happiness for them was a dance class.
So, yeah, and I'm
So
pretty
maybe
sure
we were not
really.
we were not warriors in terms of being in front and fighting the war of COVID, but like my great grandfather had said that as dance can also be a fighter, dance can also be fighting with people in different ways, and that's what I think dance did. So yes, my COVID times were hectic. I was dancing 8 hours a day, and I fulfilled my desires of my itching feet, and I'm happy I did that because today I'm whenever so many messages I get on my Instagram, on my Facebook, still from people by saying, "Oh, we are missing those classes. We should start them again." There was so much of fun, and I think it's very interesting to see how world has come closer only because of the technology that we use today.
It must have been funny because you were like your mom was saying, you were expecting to basically get bored and do nothing,
Yeah.
and here you are, being busy, even busier than when you when you have to travel. So that's really good. And I see that you have you touching people everywhere, and that's the beauty of it. And recently you had you've been crowned king, so you're a king. So tell us a little bit about all of this experience.
Well, I think for this we need to thank Moni Ironi, Dr. Moni Ironi, who is the head of King of Art for Peace and the Queen of Art for Peace and the Art for Peace Awards as well. So she was the one who met me in Oslo for an event that I was doing there, again for Dance for a Cause. and she saw my work. And again, she met me in India for one of my other events I was doing for Dance for a Cause. And also in London once more when I was doing one more Dance for a Cause. And she kept bumping into me at different countries. And she said, the kind of work you've been doing, it needs to be awarded and it requires a lot bigger platform. And of course, I had heard about her great work and art for peace. Who hasn't heard about her great work? And when she offered me this thing, I was like, it'll be my privilege to be a part of your event. And there were 7 nominees from all over the world. And when my name was announced, I was absolutely thrilled because there were other dancers, other musicians as well who are a part, who've been doing different types of work through art and, creating awareness through their art. And I think it was the best time of my life wearing this crown and the sash, and says that what for past so many years, what my work in the field of art has been getting a recognition as a king of art for peace, I think is the biggest platform for any dancer. And I think I'm humbled, I'm thankful to the entire artistic world who nominated me, who voted for me, who selected me into this particular zone. And now I think the responsibilities have increased even more, because not just Dance for a Cause, but I also represent Art for Peace. And wherever I'm going to be traveling, I'm going to be promoting Art for Peace as well, and talking to people about how important art can be to spread awareness of peace and love. Because that's what we need in today's times. There's so much of war happening, be it under the table war or wars in front of our eyes. Art is the only medium to help us understand that there is a lot more to life than fighting. You want to really reach somebody's heart and soul, or somebody's country. Go there through art. Don't go there through fights. So I think there's no point in fighting, no point in all the blast that we do in the world, but do the blast of love, do the blast of peace, do the blast of art. And that is how you can bring people closer, because that blast is going to happen is going to be a lot more effective than the blast of a bomb. So that doesn't work at all.
So powerful what you're saying, and really hope that the audience gets it, whoever is watching or whoever is gonna watch that. Those are powerful, powerful statement, and we really need it right now. Like you said, with everything that is happening, we need this, this message of peace, this message of love, this message of reaching out, and not really promoting the ego side of us, and more looking at the collaboration and also our heart, and really lead with our heart, and use heart as a medium to do that. So I mean, you've gone through so much, and you have all this worldwide recognition, and you have this passion for what you do. So what are the 2 or 3 things that you've learned through this process, and that you really want to you think that it is a lesson for anybody? And so what do you think are those 2 things or 3 things, if you that you think about and you say, okay, this is a big lesson that I've learned, and I think that that's something that you can also take in and use for for your life, and something that is important to
So there
focus
are
on.
many things. There are many things which my dance has taught me. The most important part, which I would say which has been affected me a lot, which has been me a part of a great community of dancing, is I believe the dance is like a bridge. Dance builds bridges. It does not build walls. So that's the main aim that we should use dance as. It connects the 2 people. That's the bridge dance is. Dance is not blocking you. Dance does not make a wall around you. Dance does not blind you. Dance opens your mind. Dance opens the walls. Dance opens the bridges. And that is what dance does. And that's what I realized through my travel all over the world. I could reach out to people, even if they were not speaking my language, even if they were not eating my kind of food, even if they were not dressing up like me, even if they had different color than mine, even if they had different ways of living than mine. We reached out to them only because the bridge that I built, and the bridge was through my art of dance. The second part, I also believe, is that, where we all strive for different types of things in life. We have different aims, different small, different goals. But we forget our main aim and our main goal. Dance for you are the roots of life. That's the main thing. No tree can stand if the roots are not strong. And the roots come from your family. Those roots come from your dear friends. And we must never disappoint our dear ones, because they help us to stand. If you stand clean and clear, a tree will always bear beautiful and sweet fruits. So your family is very important. Their blessings are very important. Their support is very important. They need to be with you all the time. We must not disown our parents. We must not be disconnected with our parents and our family, because they are the ones who will keep us strong. They are the ones who will keep us grounded. And it is through my dance I realize this. Because when I travel all over the world, I see a lot of people come and tell me, oh, I miss my father, I miss my brother, I miss my sister. Then why don't you go and talk to them? So we are also struck in going ahead in our careers, in our lives, in our, we are just aiming to buy a car, to buy a house, that we forget that the real strength comes to us from our parents, from our grandparents. Their blessing when it comes on our head is what will take you ahead in life. Even if they are, like they say, when we were young, we were told when somebody dies, they become stars. Those stars are the ones that show you the path. Those stars are the ones that give you the blessing. And they are the ones who are closer to the God, so they connect you and bring you positivity from there. You must not forget them. You must not let them go. These two things are the most important things which I think I realized while I have been dancing and while I've been traveling all over the world. And that's what we need to keep with us all throughout, because that's the most biggest pleasure of life.
Wow, I really love, the fact that you're talking about parents bearing everything, because like you mentioned, it is, now it's about, being more powerful or more competitive or more. So it's really about the ego, center of the ego. But yet, like you said, we need to get back to this strong foundation that, that is the family and the parents. And we really need to have the blessing and continue to have this relationship, because that's what's going to strengthen us. That's what's going to empower us. And that's what's going to create, the best world that we really want. And that's just, something that we need to say all the time, because even at school, that's not how we are taught. We're not taught all of this. We're taught the contrary. It's like about independence. It's like, you can be your own everything. And sometimes, that's actually, we need, to get back to the roots, and to get this strength that is going to help us to expand, help us to grow, and help us to, help others, especially, when we see everything that is happening right now. So thank you so much for such a positive, positive message, and for all the work that you do around the world. And before we leave, the platform, just want to ask you if there's something that you want to share with us, something coming, or something that, you feel like we can learn from, that you're doing. Well, I don't know, masterclass or anything that, the audience can, pick up, and also let us know how, the audience can reach out to you if they want to be the conversation.
Well, I think I must tell all the audience members that I'm so humble and privileged, Murray, that you asked me for a talk with you. I'd always heard about you. I'd always heard about your different conversations, different types of people. And I'm so thrilled that you asked me to be a part of your talk. So thank you for that. And well, it's very simple. I'm on Instagram, on Facebook, like all of us are. So, and I keep posting my work on social media. So please join me there, and let's connect. Let's bring the world even closer and closer and closer. And let's just do different things together, and just make sure of one thing, that you must always keep dancing. It's not important which form you do or anything that you do. just put the music on and just dance, because life is short. Especially after COVID, we have seen that life is so short. We don't know who will go away when. So the best part is to enjoy life, and the best enjoyment comes when we put any music that you like and just move to it without thinking who's thinking about you or who's thinking what about you. Just enjoy life. Let all your blues go away and just see the miracle that the dance can bring into your life. And it will only happen if you get up and do it.
Thank you so much, Sandeep, for all of this and for your time, because I know that you are always, you are in demand. So it's such a pleasure and an honor to have you today, and for gracing, our platform and for sharing all this wisdom, because I think we don't, always have access to this type of wisdom, and I'm really, happy, and I was inspired today by our conversation. So thank you very much. And I wish you all the best. And like, you recommended, I'm going to start dancing all the time. I like that. I think I'm going to do it a little bit more now that you, now that you told us. So that's definitely my action after this show. And I encourage the audience. I hope you've taken notes. And if you have, don't just stick to your notes. Do something, dance, and remember, heart, the dance is a bridge. Heart is a bridge for you to bring peace, and that's very important. Not only bring peace to yourself, but brings peace to people in your community, in your environment. So thank you so much. On this note, I'm gonna say bye bye to everyone, and I'm gonna say bye bye to you again, Sanjeev, and again, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful talking to you.
You're welcome.